decided to do this live stream because of I'll say Memorial Day heartbreak. These two people that I know, I will only refer to them as J and W or whatever. They're homeless. And I sympathize with that. But after explicitly telling them that I was not allowed to allow them to stay in the basement, which I, for several months now, since Corona hit, I developed in my basement, the basement of my building, what I call social circle. And I did it for the people in the building here, at least a handful of us. Most of the time there was only 5 of us down in the basement at any one time. I'm trying to keep my voice down if I don't like pressed up. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and they ruined my Memorial Day. And they didn't just ruin it for me, but they ruined it for everybody else that the social circle has been taken away from. Saw advertisement. Hey, Cleek. My cat, Kalika, she understands my restlessness, and now I can't find my digital recorder, and I hope that J and W didn't run off with it. I hope I wasn't so stupid and absent-minded that I left it down in the basement when I wasn't there, thinking that, oh, I would come back and it would still be there, no problem. So that could very well be gone, which means I lost a lot of footage and I'm going to have to buy a new one unless I can find it, and I'm hoping Expedite will help me do that today. So after, well, it started, I want to say Saturday night, the start of Memorial Day weekend. J and W came over to visit, and they came over way, way, way too early in the morning. They got me out of bed. They made Chris mad because of their disrespect and their rudeness of waking us up that early in the morning, because Chris wanted me to know that they were on our back porch. They had been blowing up my phone. They had been trying to call me or text me and stuff, but I leave my phone in the living room so that I don't get bothered when I go to bed at night at somebody calling me 3 o'clock in the morning because they're having a crisis. They got themselves into this situation. Kalika, will you please lay down? Lay down. Lay down. Now I got the agitation of my cat wanting my attention right now. Will you please lay down? And Saturday, the sacrifice I made for them that they did not deserve was I was up for 14 hours. Because the only way that I could somewhat keep the peace between me and Chris is to keep them down in the basement and let them visit, let them hang out. But when, it was time to go, then they had to go. And then, I was told at first that I would probably not see them again for a week. Will you stop? Kalika, stop. Lay down, God dang it. Lay down. I took them to a nice park. I fed them. Other tenants in the building and neighbors fed them. I trusted one of them I trusted Jay that they were gonna, eat their chicken salad that I had just spent. I don't even know how much I spent for it from Sam's Club because it was a big portion. And I figured, they could both eat on it because it had that much, in the container. And I even bought them a double bag of Lay's potato chips because W likes Lay's. And they left Saturday night. And then I come to find out the next day when after I was awake at, it was after 10 o'clock in the morning or something, I think, I get a text from Jay or a messenger message or whatever saying, hey, are you up? Could you come and let us in? And I'm like, what? I'm like, how the heck could they be here? Because they showed up unannounced in the sense that, yeah, I mean, they did try to call, they did try to text, but like I said, I leave my phone in the living room for a reason because I don't want to be bothered. Because it would be someone like them that would call me 3 o'clock in the morning telling me they have a crisis and, oh, it's my responsibility to help them with their crisis. They're not helping me with any of mine. So Saturday came and went, finally got some sleep, and then Sunday was here. At least I wasn't woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I found out that they had spent the night, Saturday night, in the side yard, which in my sleepiness of them waking me up as early as they did Saturday, somehow I guess I gave them the impression that it was okay for them to sleep in the side yard, that they could just put a tent up over there and, stay. Well, if I did say that, I regret it. And how I found out they slept in the side yard was another neighbor in the building told me, because she was out at 4 o'clock in the morning smoking a cigarette. And she knew they were over there. She heard them. Even though generally, I guess they were trying to be quiet or whatever. But Memorial Day gets here. Oh, no, it was Sunday night. My bad. It was Sunday night that they slept in the basement illegally. After I had told Jay that, I said, Joe gets here early in the morning. That's our landlord. And he catches you guys down here. We're evicted. And I offered to go sit downstairs with them, while they ate their chicken salad, and then they were going to leave. That was the deal. Well, Jay didn't want me to come down. So that made me think, okay, they were up to something, and the lock came missing, that the social room's usually locked up. And when Jay and W came back, I think it was Sunday night or whatever, Jay proceeds to tell me that somehow the lock just magically appeared in his pocket. He don't know how it got there. I say, BS. And apparently they had saw fit to take the lock from the laundry room as well, so that they could charge their phone and whatever. They hit one of the donate boxes, dragged a bunch of clothing over here that nobody needed, except maybe them. And hey, to them, it's free stuff. They're not stealing anything. I don't know, but they feel that they're not. And it is a donate box, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it could be in the realm of stealing or not. So we woke up Monday morning, Memorial Day, to pounding. And it wasn't incessant pounding, and it wasn't going away anytime soon. So apparently the landlord has no respect or courtesy whatsoever of the tenants in this building, some of which do get up in the morning to go to work, and they need their sleep. He saw fit to be pounding on the roof at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So it woke everybody in the building up. My sister came upstairs. She could tell she was half asleep. She's like, "What's all the pounding? What's going on?" And I said, "I don't know, sis." I said, I don't know. I said, "I guess Joe is starting early." So they have no fucking respect, no courtesy whatsoever for the tenants in this building. You know, Joe just comes and does what he does when he wants to do it, and he don't care who likes it and who don't. So all the women got down in the basement. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of us. My computer is glitching. I'm sorry about that, but I was going to put this on my digital recorder and then do this live stream later, but I'm just too emotionally shattered and distraught. So I decided, well, I'll get it out this way. So they spent the night Sunday night after I told them they were not permitted to do so and warned them that the landlord finds them down there, we're going to be evicted. They didn't listen. They didn't care. They felt entitled to sleep in our basement. And then when the cops came at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, Monday morning, because one of the neighbors in the building, thank God, called the cops and said, "Hey, there's somebody, I don't know what's going on, but there's somebody down in the basement. I know is not supposed to be there. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Could you please come and make them leave?" So my one neighbor was sitting out front smoking. Her mom was out there with her, and 2 cops pulled up apparently and asked to be admitted into the building and explained why they were there and so on. So they're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So they went downstairs and they made Jay and W leave. And Jay concocted a story that we came to spend the night, but our friend Janet didn't have any room for us upstairs because she's a hoarder. I am not a hoarder, okay? And everybody that calls me one, I really wish would stop, because I'm not. And it's hurtful and in a way kind of insulting. So they leave that time. Don't know where they went, but I imagine they had to go somewhere at least a far enough distance away that the cops, felt like, okay, yeah, they're gone. They're not coming back. So, excuse me, the women are down in the basement discussing matters, and goddamn bed bugs. And in walks Jay. And I don't know how much he heard. I hope that he didn't hear anything, but I really don't care at this point, because I was not talking very kindly about him and W. Because the social circle that I have spent the last several months building up, giving us all a place to sit, giving us all a place to hang out, someplace safe, someplace where we could stay home, so that with Corona flying around still, we don't have to worry so much about getting it because we're staying home. And when the weather's crappy and rainy and whatever, you know, and you don't really feel like sitting outside, you know, getting soaked, then you go sit down in the basement. And everybody that came to Social Circle really liked it. And sometimes it was a meditate room, sometimes it was a study room, sometimes it was a quiet reading room. But in a general sense, it was a sitting room. You know, that's it. So I believe it was Sunday, Joe, the landlord, gave us permission to sit down there anytime we wanted, you know, and all this. So I was like, okay, cool. So, you know, everybody was happy about that. And yeah, I had some stuff set up down there to make it look more homey-like, you know, as if they was in one of the apartments in the building visiting. But I wasn't living down there. I wasn't sleeping down there. I wasn't, you know, I mean, I wasn't doing anything wrong. So when the incident happened where on Memorial Day, the landlord suddenly decides now that, oh, I'm sorry, but you can't do it. I revoke my, you know, giving you permission to sit down there because of what J&W did. So with a very sad face and a shattered, broken heart, I started cleaning the room up. I stuffed everything back in my cage, which is our storage area down in the basement. It looks like a wooden cage. I locked it up and everything, and you know, I put everything away. And Jay comes and, you know, grabs like basically a handful of his stuff. And then is where it gets really, really fun, sarcastically speaking. So I will just say, JG, the building manager, saw fit to come downstairs and give me the third degree about sitting down there and that we were having parties and that they, you know, I was treating the place like an apartment, and none of that was true. When we would sit down there as a group, we tried to keep things down. Most of the time we would, even sometimes I would do it earlier in the afternoon during the day so people wouldn't have a reason to bitch because everybody's up and about. But sometimes, yeah, we would do it in the evening. But, you know, like if I was playing music down there or anything as I was meditating, then, you know, I would keep it down, you know, out of respect for and courtesy for the other tenants in the building. Not that some of them would do the same for us. I don't know. Some of them are not very sociable with the rest of us. So took J&W to a nice park over the weekend so they can enjoy themselves. And now, like I said, I'm worried that they walked off with my digital recorder that wasn't exactly cheap. Now, unless I find it, and I'm still hoping and praying that Expedite will help me find it today, because the last two places I remember having it was in the back pocket of my jeans and the jeans that I was wearing over the weekend. And then I thought I had transferred it from the back pocket of my jeans to my leather jacket. So I looked at my leather jacket. It's not there. One other possibility, and I'm still hoping that this is the case, is that it's in the little cubby thing in between the seats up in the front of the car. So I'm going to look there later today, but I've already been out there once getting my jacket out of the trunk because, you know, I didn't know if it was going to chill off or anything, so I wanted to have something to keep myself warm. And as Jay is, you know, I mean, well, let's see, some of the things that JG said to me that was very hurtful and inappropriate was, oh, so you're telling me this is your room? And I said, no. I said, I'm telling you that Joe gave us the okay yesterday to sit down here because we're not doing anything wrong. and then John's like, well, I'm gonna go talk to him. So he went and talked to him all right, and the next thing I know, Chris is telling me, well, Joe took the privileges away. All because I tried to help a couple of friends, or people that I thought were my friends, that apparently are not my friends, or they would have never did what they did, period. I will never speak to either one of them again. I've already deleted both of their phone numbers from my phone. And sometime today, I'm probably going to unfriend Jay because I'm just done. I'm just done with them. And thank goodness, one of the other tenants in the building sympathizing with the situation, that is also, my best friend. So she actually did feel comfortable enough giving me a key to her place because she works during the day, the weekday, and her cats, she usually shuts in her bedroom because one of her cats has tendency to be a little on the rambunctious side and ornery, or whatever you want to call it, and she can get into trouble, knock stuff down, break stuff, cause a mess, and I can't see them being locked up or shut up in that room all day. So sometimes I would go down there just to let them out and just chill down there, in her place. No problem. I never played any music down there usually, even though she does have a stereo, but she prefers that it stays on the country station that she likes to listen to. So I try not to mess with it because it's her place, it's her stereo. I don't want to, change it to something else just because I don't like country. It's not my place. So I say false friends because I'm just drying my hands from the sanitizer. Because what they did not only almost got us evicted, but it took away our social circle and the peace of that basement. They destroyed it. So as Jay is, gathering up like a handful of their stuff, because I thought they had the rest of their stuff. I didn't know that they had stashed it in the third room of the 3 rooms that we used downstairs, but most of the time we was only in what I call the cage room, because that's where my storage unit is. That's where we sat most of the time. We didn't sit in the other 2 rooms. So they put their stuff in what I call the pipe room. I didn't know it was there. I thought they had taken it with them until we had to go down and clean up their mess. And Chris said, "Dear, come here." So I was like, "What now?" And because I was already in a foul mood and a not so good frame of mind, because I was just devastated at what they had done. And so I was just trying to clean up. And he just, sorry for the lighting on this video, but in the morning, so I can't really do much right now. Once the daylight starts coming through the window, then maybe this will brighten up, but I don't have any other light source that I can think of around here that I'd be able to turn on so that it doesn't make my face in shadow. I have helped the same person, Jay, who, his first initial is J, in ankle deep snow. Me and Chris helped him move out of one of the places he used to live at down on Yale, and place was infested with bed bugs. It was infested with roaches. Everybody else pretty much had already moved out, and all that was left was Jay. And by the way, W, about a year or 2 ago, I think it was 2019, last summer or something I was at Ravenwood Castle at the time, thank goddess. But W beat the holy crap out of Jay because he thought he was cheating on him, and he said that Jay broke a deal with him 3 times, and whatever all that meant, which of course none of it's any of my business because that was personal stuff. So I cried a lot yesterday, and now this is another wound that I have to heal. And I just decided I'm not gonna speak to either one of them ever again, because they went too far this time. And out of all the people that has been against them, I'm the one that has tried to overlook their stupidity and their ignorance, their arrogance and their egotism, and tried to love them and tried to really truly be their friend. And look what it cost me. So their stuff got thrown out. I told Chris, I said, I don't care what you do with it. I said, just get rid of it. Get it out of here. He said, well, if they call you or text you, then tell them that their stuff's behind our dumpsters and they have, I don't know how long, they better get up here and get it quick, because otherwise somebody's liable to walk off with it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? Why not just set it out there and just whoever takes it, takes it. I don't even care anymore. Because they don't deserve anything they have, because they don't appreciate it. They're going from house to house to house. They're staying with this person, staying with that person. And then when they make those people mad and PO'd at them, then they get kicked out of there. And it's an endless vicious cycle that they call their lifestyle. And our landlord had to put the gate back up in the side yard and relock it so that they wouldn't be able to get in there and stay. And I'm glad he did. I think the building manager of this building should be fired because he's not doing his job. And he sits on his fat ASS, and yeah, he does work. He does work during the day, on the weekdays. But instead of fixing things, which is part of the job description, when something breaks, it's his job to fix it. Well, instead, what we get from him is, well, if anything gets broke, you have to fix it yourselves. So we have to pay for it out of our pocket, and then we're still expected to pay $465 in rent. No, I don't think so. I want out of here, and I really wish things would speed up to the point that, Chris could get this VA loan and we could get a place and just be done with this place. And now I'm left shattered again, and it's up to me to pick up the pieces of my own heart because of what they did. So I will never understand why Jay felt like it was a good idea to get back with W after he almost killed him and beat crap out of him. And I saw the pictures, and yeah, why did he go back to him? Because the next time he may actually kill him. I've never been on crystal meth, and I never will, but I know there was, not too long ago, there was this whole crystal meth thing going on that Jay was doing crystal meth, and Chris thinks that he's still doing it, because I noticed something that I've never noticed him do before, but his tongue would keep like darting out of his mouth and shit, like really weird, like, I don't know what, it was creepy, and weird to see. But I'm I'm really hurt by this, and I feel like part of their penance and part of their karma is losing all their stuff this time, because what they did was wrong, and if they would have never did it in the first place and they would have just left and found somewhere else to sleep, you know, a couple blocks down the road from here or something, then there wouldn't have been an issue. Other than Chris's intolerance of them being over here every single day, literally for the whole weekend, which if you count Friday, but they weren't here Friday, I don't think. If you count Friday, it was a 4-day weekend. Everybody's going back to work today, including my friend downstairs that, you know, gave me permission to use her apartment. And I'm, you know, grateful. And she told all of us, you know, yesterday, she said, you guys can still have social circle, just do it in my place. She said, you know, I'm gone during the day, so, you know, it's not a big deal to me. I'm like, okay, cool, you know, thanks. And so that's where social circle will continue. And now I have a perfectly good desk downstairs that I wish I had the room up here to put it so that I could sit and use it. I don't feel like dragging it up to my friend's place because I don't want to bring even a single item that I own into her place, because I would feel like I was invading her space, like I was treating the apartment as if it were my apartment. And so I've got a desk sitting downstairs now that I'm not going to be able to use because the basement privileges have been taken away. All because of two false friends that seem to they make it their life to use, abuse, take for granted, take advantage of anybody that's stupid enough to let them. And I am not proud to say I'm one of those people. All I did was try to love them and try to be pretty much the only friend they really had. But well, that's gone, because they don't exist to me anymore. So when it gets a little lighter out, I'm gonna go down into the car and hope that my digital recorder is where I think it is, because I really don't want to replace it. Not that I can't, because I can. You know, I still have over $200 in my stimulus check. But doesn't mean that I'm anxious to spend it, you know, where I shouldn't have to. Because I don't know if the lighting is any better. Yeah, I guess it's a little better this way. I also wanted to say, this is for Colin Brown, one of the Paranormal Files. I doubt he'll ever see this video, so it really don't matter. But, you know, I know you've heard this a lot, but, you know, I, like many of your fans and admirers on YouTube, are sad that you and Peyton broke up, and I'm glad that you're both doing okay, you know, in your lives, and you're just moving on, you know, and you're still friends, you still talk to each other, and that's all good stuff, you know. And I can't wait to see the most recent video that have you and I call him Doty in, but I think that's like his last name or something. He has girlfriend Bailey, and I hope they're okay, you know, but I understand, like Colin was explaining on the live stream that he did, where he titled it perfectly, we broke up. And I was like, uh-oh, I got to see this one. So, because I know how painful and difficult and traumatizing breaking up can be. I've been through it enough. But I guess now is time to look at the blessings in disguise. That maybe everything that happened for a reason, and I still to this day don't feel like I was doing anything wrong. The people in this building that are, those of us that actually do talk and actually do socialize with each other, because there's two significant people here that really don't. And I won't give their names because it's irrelevant. But, I have nothing against one of them, but the other one, I think should be kicked out of the building. But it's not my building. I don't own it. I'm not the landlady. So who am I to say anything? We need a new building manager because JG just is not a good choice. And Melinda, I know you'll probably never see this either, but I haven't checked recently, but I don't know if you've answered me or not about whether or not you were going to do a reading for me. Got to take these out because it's starting to hurt. Some of them are kind of pokey, like my coral dragon here. So, it tends to get like uncomfortable laying against your skin after a while. You feel like you're being pricked with little needles or something. But and then as if, to add insult to injury, JG had me so upset from his onslaught of me and the way he did things that I was crying off and on throughout the day a couple of times yesterday, and I'll never speak to him again. If I have any matters that need to be discussed, I will go directly to the landlord. I guess there's really not, much else to say at this point. I'm just trying to move on from here, and here a little bit later, I'm gonna try and experiment and make sure I have my phone with me because I'm gonna need my phone to do it, because I don't think that my neighbor downstairs has Wi-Fi because she don't have internet. She can't read or write, so she has no reason to have internet. She doesn't even have a computer. And even if she had one, the poor dear, she wouldn't be able to use it. Again, I have nothing against her. What was done to her was not her fault. And she's not had an easy life any more than the rest of the black sheep flock that we all seem to be, because we all come together because there's so many out there that just don't want nothing to do with us and think that we're the worst thing that ever walked the earth. Do I forgive them? Not yet. But I know that I'm going to have to, because this is just one more thing I don't need to be holding on to that is just going to cause me problems. And The gyms are opening today. So maybe I'll just, wander down to Gahanna and go to the Y there and try my hand again at having a membership there, so that I can go pretty much anytime I want, as long as they're open and it's, hours of operation. Because I fell yesterday too, because JG had me so upset that I was coming up the steps and the sandals I was wearing caught on one of the steps and down I went. So I've messed up the whole right side of my body. I'm banged and bruised, and it just adds insult to injury. So Melinda, if you ever do happen upon this video and we never do meet or anything, I understand, and I don't expect that we will, and I doubt that you're ever going to give me that reading. You might be busy. I know you have a daughter, but it would be really nice to have a reading and to get to know you better. And my computer is still lagging really bad, so I guess I might as well wrap this up. I would say Happy Memorial Day, but that was yesterday, so it's irrelevant now. And yeah, towards the end yesterday, we all did try to make the most of the day and put it in its most positive light. And Chris cooked a bunch of food and invited the neighbors, and only 3 of them showed up. The others said that no, they were good. They had already eaten and everything. And I was like, okay. And Chris gave me the job of going down and knocking on the door and telling everybody with my knee messed up the way it was. And, so every time I went down the stairs, every time I walk, every time I move, it hurts. And please, please, please let my digital recorder be in the car. I might even venture down there here in a minute and check it. But I just, I want to get this documented, and I also need to see how many more files I'll be able to do on my digital recorder, because I don't know how many I've already done. And during one of the better days of the weekend, which that probably would have been Saturday if they wouldn't have woke us up at 7 o'clock in the morning when they first came, J&W. But I did get, some conversation when we was all, sitting downstairs and, having a good time, and all was right with the world. And it was turning out to be a not so bad, Memorial Day. And I was glad to have at least Jay around, but I really didn't want W around because of what he did to Jay. And I really don't care so much about W's side of the story. And he can tell me all day long that he felt like he was completely within his rights to beat the crap out of Jay, who he's supposed to love so much. That's not love, that's abuse. And that is a very emotionally unstable person that has been diagnosed as a schizophrenic and seems to think that his job on the earth is to kill all the demons in the world. Well, good luck with that one, buddy. But he comes off as such a bad AWS, and that he's invincible, and nothing can harm him, and whatever, dude. Do you have a heart? Which I no, I don't believe you do. Or you wouldn't have done what you did and took liberties with a lock and a table that you had no right touching either, let alone keeping it so that you could charge your phone and so that somebody else couldn't lock up the laundry room. Jay said to me, "I'm sorry, Janet, I didn't mean to get you in trouble." Well, it's a little too late for that, and I don't expect me to believe your apology because you knew you did wrong. You knew that it could possibly get us evicted, and you did it anyway. It's not my job and responsibility to give you a place to stay because you can't get your crap together, and neither can W, and you guys are just a little too comfortable with your lifestyle, and you don't have any respect or courtesy for anybody else but yourself. Don't ever darken my doorway again. Don't ever call me. Don't ever text me. And because I deleted both of their phone numbers, if I see the number and some part of my mind goes, that's W or that's J, then I'm gonna just hand the phone to Chris and let him deal with them, because I will not speak to them ever again. And I think the last words I said to Jay, because I didn't want us to part on bad terms, he said, "Get a hold of me soon," and something like that. And I said, "I will, hon," and I patted him on the back, and I think he went out the back door or whatever of the building. But I didn't mean it. I was just trying to get him out of there, and I was trying to put myself on the road of recovery from this. Taking me for granted and taking advantage of my kindness, and it almost cost me my place to live that I've been at for 13 years. And I keep my rent paid. We keep the bills. Chris keeps the bills paid. So they have no reason to evict us. But when something like that goes on, especially if they find out that I did okay it, because I did not, but if the circumstances would have been different, and I would have been stupid and said, "Yeah, go ahead, stay down in the basement. I don't care." No, that's not me. It's not my place. It's not my right to let them crash in the basement of the building that I don't even own. I'm not the landlady, so. But anyway, on the lighter side, I guess we got things cleaned up, and we're just moving on from here. And beware of false friends, because they seem to be around every corner anymore. And blessed be to everybody. I did order me a Stay Spooky shirt, but I have no idea when it'll get here. Because with the coronavirus messing everything up like it has and keeps doing, it could be weeks or even months before I even get it. And it was just one shirt, because I was trying to support the show. And I just wish that they would do me a kindness and show me some love, because I've certainly shown them enough, liking their videos, watching them all the time. And they can't even come and subscribe to my channel and hit a like button and hit the bell icon so they know when I upload my latest vlog. Because it's looking like, at least for now, that's all that's going to be going on, because I have a video camera now. But now that the right side of my body is all jacked up and bruised and banged, and I'm not going to be traveling anytime soon anywhere to do any investigations, and I'm questioning if I even want to do any at all, because I don't want, negative forces attaching themselves to me, attaching themselves to, like coming here and causing me more trouble and that I don't need or want. So with that, I guess I'm going to go and maybe go downstairs one last final time and check in the car and hope that my digital recorder's in there. Chapped lips. Because if it isn't, then that's just going to make me even more angry at them because they had no right walking off with my property. Colin, love to meet you guys. Dodie, Melinda, a bunch of you, but I just doubt that's ever going to happen because I'm never going to have the money to be able to travel where you guys are. And the closest so far that Colin has been to me that I know of was Virginia. And I don't even remember what parts of Virginia they went to or anything, but that's not close enough because I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I guess I'm out for now, and say blessed be and onward.